Hello from the Yarn Closet in St. David, Arizona. I'm posting this on Sunday, if I remember. Today is Saturday. We're at the very end of July 2021. And Prue, my daughter, is 6 and starts first grade on the Monday. And my son Connor is 13 and goes into 9th grade on August 2nd. So I'm breathing a sigh of relief because we're almost there. I am Yarn Closet AZ on Instagram if you want to follow me over there. And on Patreon, I'm The Yarn Closet, just like over here on YouTube. You can follow for free in Patreon, and that's kind of fun. I have a lot of content out there for free. Patterns for knit and crochet and loom knit and machine knit and what to do with a sock tube. I have a Dean and Bean sock machine. It's fabulous. 64 stitches. I find it, it's a printed machine. I find it much easier than one that I had previously. It was a metal machine, an older metal machine, or older style metal machine. And this one has more range in gauge, therefore you get different widths in your tube, which I really like. It's a double cam system, so that's just another level of learning. I also have an lk150 flat knitting bed and love it and do a lot of things on it. We live on a 1-acre little pecan hobby farm about an hour south of Tucson. We have 4 chickens and 4 baby chickens, which hopefully by the new year will be laying. We have a large garden. We have 32 pecan trees and inherited an outdoor cat that had just had babies who had been hanging around the previous owners. I believe it was somebody's indoor cat. It acts like an indoor cat, but it's been outside long enough now because it had been outside when we'd met it for at least 6 months or more. So we haven't made it an indoor cat because it had these babies. We didn't know where the babies were for the longest time. And she has survived remarkably. But that one cat and her original 6 babies has turned into 9 cats. 9 after her. And then there's a dad roaming around. Sadly, that includes 4 that have died that we know of. Because here's the thing about outdoor cats. They have an average lifespan of about 2 to 5 years, depending on if they're rural or inner city, and the health of the colony that they participate in. One of the things I'm trying to get my neighbors to understand is you actually have to reasonably feed cats if you want them to stay around your house and be mousers for you. Because we have some neighbors who have brought in a lot of cats to be outdoor cats, but they don't feed them enough. They put just some dry and some water, and that just hasn't been enough to really pique their interest. Because we have so many farms around here, people put out some pretty decent stuff for these cats. And I feed ours pretty well because we are hoping to catch, trap and release, trap, neuter, and release a handful of them before the winter. Now the trick there is it's quite a long drive to get them to any TNR programs to neuter them or, pay for it yourself. That's, I think, the real downfall to why there's so many cats in this community is that people don't want to take that kind of time. You don't want a 2-hour plus round trip just to deal with these outdoor cats, because a lot of these farmers just don't have the same kind of attachment. I don't judge any of the neighbors or any of the farmers. I've been housebound for about 15 years now, and animals were it. That was my companionship. This is the first time in that amount of years that I have had a real girlfriend who will call me up and say, hey, I'm going to Walmart. Do you want to go? I'm going to the grocery store. Do you want to go? Hey, do you have some salt? Because the closest grocery store is about 15 minutes away. We do have a dollar store that's about 5 minutes away. So it's, I mean, I love living here. It is absolutely fabulous. And this is a knitting, crochet, sock tube, machine knit, loom knit podcast. I am legally blind. We also have a 26-year-old who lives in Tucson. I'm 50 in September. So there's that stage of life that we get chatting about also. And I do talk a lot about our animals, the outdoor ones and the indoor ones. So I'm going to start with that this week, just to get it done with. And then I'm going to show a couple of projects in the house that we're not 100% done with, but we're progressing, and it's kind of fun. It's been exciting for me. And then I'll get into some more knitting stuff. So this last week, our 18-and-a-half-year-old cat, Candy, died. She died of old age. It was a very quick onset kidney failure. We had medication that the vet recommended, left over from this last cat that we adopted, who got trapped in a coyote trap, and then we had to have its leg amputated, leg and shoulder. It makes it look so funny right here and so thin. It's wormy and squirmy, and it may never actually walk more upright, because if it's missing this whole chunk, its balance is wonky. So called the ER vet, asked about it. They said they've seen the cat, they know it. And yes, that's an ER vet that's over an hour away, about an hour and a half. And they said, you can give that medication. It will keep the cat comfortable and a bit drowsy, and it shouldn't be long, a few hours to 24 at the most. Well, it was about 24 hours later. I stayed with the cat pretty much the whole time. The kids came back and forth, so they knew it was happening. And we felt like that was important because one of our dogs had passed, but the kids didn't get to see it because we took them in to the vet, and then there was no one to bring home. So she passed. We buried her. We made a cross, did the whole thing. And then, as life often happens out here, then there's the next new life. So there were a couple of kittens we found out on our block that needed homes. One of them has a lot of scabs, like all over its body from a dog attack. One of the other kittens in that bunch was killed by a dog, same one. So they were trying to, do the right thing. So we took them in. Their names are Princess and Tiger. And I cannot believe the reaction of my children. I cannot believe it. They're just in heaven. I don't think my daughter's left her room for the most part in like 3 days. I mean, when we tell her to, but, because they just want to hang out with these kittens. And these kittens are adorable. They're about 9 weeks old. And the vets around here are very busy. So I've tried to call the vet a few times this week, haven't gotten anywhere. So I'm just going to have to keep at it this next week. We'll get them fixed. We'll get them all up to date. They'll stay in the house. They'll be house cats. The amputated one, Pumpkin, he's a male orange tabby. He will also be an inside cat. We do have a couple of enclosed catios, so like large ones. Like our front porch can be an enclosed catio. A lot of times we let the outdoor cats have access. I do worm the outdoor cats. I do flea and tick the outdoor cats. If you're in the same situation, message me and I'll send you the information from eBay on this powder that you can put on their food that will flea and tick them. It doesn't take much, and it takes a lot to give them toxicity. So I think that it's worked pretty well in my group, because I do occasionally there's a couple that I can pick up briefly, and they don't itch a lot. They don't have any signs. One of mine is allergic to fleas. So I give her a flea pill in a pill pocket, like when I can get her alone and know that she's going to take that pill. Because within 2 or 3 days, all of a sudden she'll go from a very thin coat and just seeming kind of down and because it's itchy and it's gross and it's allergy. If you understand allergies like some of us do, to within 3 days, her fur is starting to fill out again. It's looking better. She's perkier. And the vet told me that that's a sure sign of a flea allergy, which makes me wonder if that's not why somebody put her out, because they thought maybe she had mange or something. I know. Not the knitting. Where's the knitting? Dude, I've got plenty of knitting this week. So let me show you. This is going to be a trick and a half. 'Cause I don't know how to do this. You can't flip the camera when you're recording. Do you see that? Do you see white painted paneling walls? I love it so much. I love it so much. I did that all on this side in the living room. See, that side's not painted. My family didn't want to lose all the paneling. They're nuts. I just love it. You then have the dining room is also painted. And see, we put in some laminate wood floor through the dining room and the kitchen. We're going to put it in our back hallway, laundry room, bathroom, and pink room. That's out through that door. That's the back half of our house. And I have been working on the ceilings in here. That's going to be ongoing during the school year. And then my daughter requested the wood floors and the painting in her bedroom. So we got the floor for the most part put in. We have a lot of trim work to do yet on the floors. And I've made some progress on the paint, but then we got kittens, so everything got interrupted.
Get off of me.
So here are the kittens.
Get off of me. Get off of me, Mom.
That's Tiger.
Get off of me.
Okay,
Get off.
stop pushing. Don't push.
Yeah, I'm not pushing.
See? And that. Okay, move your hand. Just take your hand off. Just take it off. This
I'm
is
showing them
Princess.
I'm showing them how funny it looks like.
I know, and they saw it, and now it's to see Princess. Isn't she cute? She's cute. She's like dark black. They both have like black tails. She's got white, and then she's got these funny little gray legs. And I think that her hair is a little bit longer than the other one. I think it might be long-haired cat. They're both the tabby mixes. Stop picking them up all the time, please. I'm just thrilled that my daughter has some decorative sense. Chip, do you have to go outside? Okay, Chip has to go outside. We're making a walk. Okay, honey, okay. It's been very, very wet. See, Arizona, I'm an hour south of Tucson. Look at how green and nice and wonderful it is. We love it. My mom and dad bought a house here with a little half acre. They'll be moving in a few weeks. And everybody's looking forward to that. Okay, So I machine knit a few of these. Okay, it's just a rectangle. Seamed on the short sides for your arms. This one is shorter. And this one has the ribbing. And that is a lovely cotton bamboo yarn. So it's very lightweight, very lovely. And then this is the purple one. This is bigger with that same detailing. So it's that cocoon style kind of cardigan. Thinking about doing a couple with some frogs or buttons or something. But I don't like the way that it would pull on that fabric. This is what started all of this, my cocoon style endeavors. This was a hand crocheted silk cotton alpaca yarn that I didn't have a lot of, so I made it as big as I could. And so it's more of a bolero style. It's short, but it gives you that little bit of extra coverage. Getting the back of your neck is just nice when you've got a lot of air conditioning. And this one was simply single crocheted with single crochet in the back loop accent for the collar and the sleeves. And this one is actually my favorite. It is actually my favorite. So I machine knit this one. This is a much longer because I actually combined two lk150s. So I have a 100 stitch machine and a 200 stitch machine. It's got a folded hem on the one side. So I just knit for a while. Then you do a garter ridge, one row of garter, or purl, one row of purl. So you get a garter ridge on your stockinette side, and then you fold it over with the same number of rows, and then you combine them. So that's on one side. So you get a little bit of thickness here, and this is just a straight acrylic yarn, but this is about 35 to 40 longer stitches in like the biggest yarn, and then I didn't do anything on the other end, so it just kind of curls. But I don't care because it's so much bigger. It comes down a little bit further than the rest, but making it longer means you also get more sleeve. Now, if you want sleeve that's a little more cuffy, you can actually seam quite a bit more, and then you'd have like these wingy things. Not seaming allows you to get more of your arm out when you need to grab for something or whatever. So, I don't know. I love this. I think it would be a great, like, a nursing home gift. Oh my God, I just love it. Just love it. Yes, I haven't brushed my hair. I didn't put in any makeup today. I had to get the boys out by 6:30. They were doing a hike with the boys group my son's involved in. And my husband had been helping his brother. We're technically in monsoon season, so there's been a fair amount of flooding and stuff. So he's been helping him. He runs a construction company that does a lot of insurance work. And then there are also maintenance on a number of rental properties in Tucson. So my husband has been going in the last few days and just helping them catch up because they need all the extra help they can get right now. I am hand knitting another sweater. You know, I've always wanted some thicker but lightweight sweaters. So this last summer and a little bit before that, I started trying to figure out what that yarn is, okay? For years and years and years, when I loom knit and crocheted, all I used was acrylic with an occasional like acrylic with just a little bit of wool in it that was washable. And I do like it, I don't mind acrylic. I think acrylic's totally got its purpose for the babies and the kids. But when I found out that acrylic never dies, like it will not go away, it will not deteriorate, I felt this draw to try to figure out the natural fibers. Because in my own way, I do try to minimize our consumption, which is a ridiculously hard thing to do in this day and age. Your kids want everything constantly. Nobody wants to fix anything. Like our air conditioner. Everybody wanted to charge us $8,000 to get a new one. My husband finally just put his foot down and said, I'm going to try this. Went out and found a motor, because our thing is over 20 years old. Found a motor for $300 and some, replaced the motor, and it works fine. My daughter's like, why can't we buy tunnels for the cats? Because we get Amazon every other day, and so we're making box tunnels. That's what we're doing. We burn all of our cardboard because they don't recycle here. I reuse mason jars, I have glass jars. Because we burn the cardboard, I actually try to buy stuff in cardboard packaging that we can then burn, because I think that's better. What else? I'm just more cognizant of like the fibers in our clothing, especially since my daughter and I have such sensitive skin. In the things that I buy, like I prefer to buy cotton or wool rugs, things that can be rinsed, washed and dried, whatever. But there are times when you can't. Like I got a rug for my daughter's room and it's pink, and yes, there's a wool content, but there's definitely chemicals on it because you can smell it. And obviously laminate flooring is whatever. I mean, you know, nobody's perfect, but every little bit that you make an effort is just that bit that you made an effort for, so it's got to be better than not making the effort, right? I'm certainly not over the top. All of that to say, I had a few skeins of this Mayflower classic yarn. It's worsted weight. And then I had 3 skeins of this fingering weight. This was from Honeybee Knits. I don't think she makes yarn anymore. So I used this and 1 strand of that to start this sweater. I started at the yoke, and I did just a basic raglan. And then when I ran out of this, I used 3 strands to try to make an up for it to kind of equal the weight. So that's how you see it kind of go into something darker. I did my best. That's enough. That's enough. Lay down. So there's a couple rows where I did like a darker row, and then the lighter row, and then darker row, and then the lighter row, to try to kind of blend it in. So it's my own like 2-color fade-ish thing. And then, so you see it gets darker. Can you see? I can't wait to see after it's blocked, how it fills in and how much of a difference you actually see. Oh, that's Chip and Rusty. Hold on, sorry. In the house. Hold on. Hold on. Hey. Chip, knock it off. Well, see, Rusty, I didn't get you quite. So, I had to try to rub his feet off really fast. I could edit that out. I'm not going to. That was your opportunity to get a glass of water. Sadie, no. Rusty, no. They're actually just kind of, maybe the neighbor's walking in his backyard. I don't know. I can't tell. So anyway, basic raglan. Get to the point where I split for the seams. I did a slightly longer rib in the back than the front. And I knew this was going to be shorter because I was limited on my yarn. I should have not bound off for this. Oh well. I also know that it's going to grow potentially a couple inches after it's blocked. I think I'm actually going to seam this together because I'm not in love with it, but I'm going to wait until I block it and see lengthwise what it is and how it looks. I don't like to do the short row shaping at the neck. I would prefer to make up the difference in the lower section of the garment by making a longer back than front, because when you're wearing it, okay, so I had breast implant illness and breast implant associated lymphoma a couple of years ago, so I no longer have much of a chest to offset it. I think I need more in the back because I hunch a little bit. I've got some discs in my neck fusing and stuff. Then, this is a really exciting thing about this sweater. I didn't know what to do with the neckline. The neck was like, because this is so lightweight, it was open to here. So you know what I did?
The cats are fighting like.
They're just playing. They're not actually fighting. Okay.
They really were fighting.
Okay, I'm getting podcast. So go over there.
I love your viewers.
Thank you.
Love you too.
Okay, love you too. So I picked up with a smaller. I'm knitting this in an 8mm. I did the ribbing in a 6.5. So I picked up with the 6.5, knit about 7 rows, did that 1 row of purl that gives me a garter bump, folded, knit the same amount of rows, and then I did like a 3-needle bind off. I didn't like do a 3-needle bind off. I did a 3-needle bind off. And because this yarn is so soft, it's not scratchy. It doesn't feel ridgy or weird. And so it pulled the neckline in quite a bit. And gave it this kind of mock neck. I think that if I were to do it again, I might do it bigger for more of a turtleneck. I don't know. I had no idea how it was going to work out, so I just did it to figure it out. And like, I don't necessarily love the mock neck business, but I like that it brought the proportions of the sweater back into reality. And then, see, I'm also testing the sleeve on this one. So then I'm just picked up and started working with the darker combination of yarns. I'm going to work down a little bit, as I almost always do short sleeves, and then rib it, and then Tuesday. So that's the progress there. I'm really enjoying it. It's working out quickly. I've decided I'm going to hand knit a lot more of the chunkier things. My eyesight has started to have an episode again. So it's a little bit easier to work with the bigger stuff. And then I took this sweater and I'm reworking the sleeves. I never liked the shape of this decrease on the sleeve, and it made it just slightly too tight. So I'm reworking it. I know it looks god-awful, but in blocking that should figure out. Then I realized I actually worked this sleeve a little bit too long. So I started to go back and just drop stitches to make a rib. Because I liked the length of those, I just didn't like the tightness. So I'm working on that. I got the needles into the second sock tube to make, I'm making a pair of yoga socks. And then I am making a pair of sock tube mittens. I have not gotten the needles into the second tube for that, but I'll show you the first mitten. Did I already show you the first mitten? Yeah. Remember, I realized that I actually needed a little bit more space through here, and I did the toe decreases, made it kind of pointy like a Norwegian or Latvian, not Norwegian, Latvian mitten. No, no, no. Hey, Sadie, you're looking the wrong direction. Chip, no. No. All right, it's walk time of day, so people are going to start walking with their pets, and that's going to get more ridiculous. Sadie was actually looking that direction. The walkers are out those windows because she's blind now. It's a trick and a half. I've hoped you've enjoyed this little rant and ramble. I've enjoyed our little meeting. And look with your heart first this week, not your eyes.